to Party Trick Astrology. I'm Nina.
I'm Shaina.
And
children screaming.
Yeah!
So you just watched the best skit ever.
Yes, at least for now.
Oh, yes.
Because we plan on doing a skit like that for every one of our rising sign videos. Let us know what you think in the comments, I guess.
Yeah, and don't take it too literally if you don't relate to it exactly. It's just for fun and it's a stereotype, you know.
But I did have a roommate who was a Pisces rising, and this is exactly her morning routine.
Yeah. So this is very important. You need your exact birth time, exact to the minute, to know your rising. So I'm gonna link Astro Cafe down below if you don't know your chart, because if you're Pisces sun, there's a big chance that you're not a Pisces rising. You can be, but it's about a 1 out of 12 shot. So
not about, an exactly 1 out of 12 shot.
So yes, this is not for Pisces suns, this is Pisces rising. And yeah, you need, just check your birth certificate.
Yeah, text your mom.
Yeah, text your mom. That's what we're like, call a parent. Call your legal guardian.
Phone a friend.
Phone a friend. Okay, so this is our first video in our rising sign series. And we are going to start off with...
We're going to talk about looks.
First impressions.
The way that you relate to the world, because, you know, your ascendant is like the first thing, your first shell, your first mask that affects how you relate to the world around you. And then we're going to touch on the 7th house, because those two go hand in hand.
And a lot of people ask about, are we compatible, are we this, are we that? And your 7th house is where it's at. And no matter if you have an interception or not, you have the same 7th house.
Yeah, or the opposite 7th house as your rising.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So looks wise, nobody really knows what a Pisces rising looks like. And that's the whole point, because the way that I best describe it is people with Pisces risings, this is how other people do. They're like, I think you're like, and this is water. They're like putting their hand over it and just like throwing water on their face. Like, I think you look like this and you act like this, so I'm gonna project this onto you. And then the person that's a Pisces rising is like, this was projected onto me, then I'm gonna do this. Like, you're so receptive to energies.
And you probably look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, this is what I look like? Like, it's so true with what we said in the skit of like, because your first house is all about your appearance, and not all about your appearance, but it's like a huge indication of your appearance. And Pisces is not about the physical world. It's about the spiritual world. So it's very strange to have that be your physical expression. So you probably feel like, I have no real connection to like having a physical body. Like, what is this body? What is what I look like?
Yeah, it's ruled by Neptune. You're so disillusioned. You're like, what are those?
The fact that it's ruled
you
by
are
Neptune,
that mean.
The fact that it's ruled by Neptune is the very thing that allows people to project whatever their interpretation of who you are is upon you.
But something that I find very true with many Pisces risings is you kind of always look a little bit of a mess, or your life is just kind of always a little bit of a mess.
Because you just don't connect to, it doesn't matter, like the physical being.
Structure?
It doesn't matter.
I'm just doing all the old me. Pisces rising is like waking up at a certain time. What are those? Timetables, assignments due? What?
All that Virgo-y stuff, that's in your 7th house. That's not like who you are, what you identify with, like right off the bat.
And it doesn't necessarily mean, like, not all Pisces risings are giant lazy slobs. That's not what we're saying, but you can be. Maybe that's your natural inclination, or maybe you've just always kind of seen scatterbrained.
Yeah.
There's something where organization is just not your strong suit. Sorry about this fucking plane. They should know that fucking Party Trick Astrology is filming right now. What the fuck? That's like, that was a motorcycle.
It's a helicopter.
Oh my god, we're innocent.
So on the flip side of that, your strong suit is this amazing Pisces stuff of being spiritual, being artistic.
You're so in touch with this other realm that like nobody else, like you know, you're like, I have these secrets to this other world.
Yeah, and like touching on how you react to the world, you have like a psychic inclination of everything around you, you know? Like Virgo Libra risings are all about like, how can I analyze everything so that I'm comfortable and like, okay, this is the exit sign, this is the bathroom, this is the helicopter flying over. We are on a tight schedule.
We have things to do, places to be.
But how you interact with the world is you're not analyzing like, here's the bathroom, but you're like getting an emotional feel.
You feel it out. Everything you're just like I think Pisces risings are like the creators of just go with your gut feeling.
Yes.
You know? What is your gut emotional life telling you?
Yeah.
You also can have fish features. Sometimes your face might look a little fishy. Like I find a lot of them have kind of oval shaped faces.
Like
watery, like very plump. Like I think there's a lot of beauty in Pisces. Messy bun is the hair for Pisces.
Yes! The messy
or
bun.
like if you're like have shorter hair, it's just like messy and curly, like Pisces risings can pull off that bedhead look more than anybody. It looks good too, I think. Like when you're Pisces rising, you try to do that shit. You're like, why does my hair look have fucking weird ass baby hairs and all this dumb shit? Pisces rising throws their hair in a messy bun, and you're like, ooh, edgy.
Yeah, ooh, edgy. Just artist chic. Like they're the ones like, oh man, I gotta make this watercolor. Better just throw my hair up into this work of art before I start my work of art. And it's like completely effortless.
Yeah, Pisces risings are so artistically inclined, and there's so much creativity in you, and people see that instantly because it's your rising, so people like know. And maybe you're very good with music or just those kind of things, and you definitely can like, not in that Libra way of like blending in with a group, but in the Pisces way of just like, oh, I'm with these friends and they kind of have this look to them, and you just take it on almost. Like if you're with a bunch of people that are more edgy, you're gonna look that way. If you're more girly, you're gonna look that way. Or if you're, I don't know.
It's a mutable sign.
Yeah, it is so mutable.
There you go. And another thing about it being a mutable sign is that you can kind of get stuck with going in with the flow. You might feel overwhelmed or pushed over sometimes. Like Alyssa Sharp is a Pisces rising, and she just kind of like she stopped astrology because she was just taking on what everyone needed. She was giving, and
they're so empathetic. Hold on. It's the astrology police. They're like, it's a pseudoscience.
Oh my god.
You're just gonna be very giving and just, oh my god, you can feel out of space. Like when you walk in, you're like, this is the energy, this is how this person feels, this is how this person feels, and you're just like, take it all on. So if it's like a happy setting, you're like, oh, it lifts up your day. If it's a sad setting, you're just like, crying. Yeah, you're very, very hypersensitive, and you can just, there's a psychic ability to it, so you can just kind of feel almost as if it's like a tangible thing, what everybody is feeling and their emotions and that kind of, and like it's just a vibe. Like Pisces rising is the ultimate, like, this is the vibe.
Yeah,
kind of.
But the vibe that they most like is probably, well, they're actually not very picky with like their environment, because again,
it's mutable.
It's not connected to the physical. So you might walk into a Pisces rising's apartment. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. So I lived with a Pisces rising, and I had all the drawers and all the closet space because she moved in and threw everything on the floor. Because why the fuck not?
Why do we need drawers? That's how Pisces rising thinks. They're just like, fuck it. And like they don't have time for that shit.
No.
They're out there making music or escaping.
Yeah.
And into escapism.
And like they don't care. Like it's on the floor. That's where it belongs. Like the physical like doesn't matter to them.
Yeah. I think of Pisces rising as, even if you don't smoke weed, you look like you smoke weed for the most part. Like I know that's like a big stereotype, but
that is the stereotype of Pisces.
Yeah, definitely a stereotype, but you just really, not only because you're so in the other realm, it's like you're just constantly escaping from this world. So every Pisces rising is going to have something that they use to escape. Some is healthier than others, some have a combination, but it could be like, it definitely leads towards like drugs and alcohol, but it can also be sleep or maybe music or writing or something artistic like we mentioned. But you can definitely easily, Pisces rising is somebody who might not be the best with control. Like you might not be the best at like just having one drink.
Yeah.
If you do drink.
Yeah, it is like
You're gonna
Neptune
be like
is like a little self-indulgent.
yeah, you're gonna kind of be like, I either am sober or I'm so fucked up I'm the one on the floor that can't put my shit together.
Or even it's like I watched one episode and whoops, I watched the whole season.
Yeah.
Or like I said 5 more minutes and whoops, I slept past first period.
Yeah, they're just always like, what fucking day is it? Like, what year is it? Like,
and then that's why they're not necessarily the most responsible, because they get carried away with that kind of thing. Like, get carried away like, oh my god, I accidentally watched the whole first and second season of Stranger Things and I forgot to pick up my kid. Not saying that you're a bad parent if you're Pisces rising.
yeah, but it's just, again, we're taking a pure Pisces rising and we're stereotyping and giving examples to just apply to your life. Okay, you know, you're not a dumb person or else you wouldn't be here. No dummies allowed. Comment your IQ. If it's under a certain number, we will block your ass. I don't even know, like, what's a high IQ? I don't know.
Me neither. What's my IQ?
I don't know. Whenever I watch serial killer shows, they're always like, they had a low IQ of this. And I'm like, I don't know what that means.
Numbers? What are those? You probably relate, Pisces rising. Numbers? What are those? So let's just quickly touch on the 7th house. So the 7th house is your other half in every sense of the word.
It's literally the opposite sign.
Yeah, exactly. So it's your other half within yourself, and it's your other half in terms of marriage, relationships and friendships too somewhat, but like marriage is the big thing of the 7th house.
We're just like committed relationships. So it's in Virgo.
Exactly. So because your strong suits are not the Virgo strong suits of being organized, being
analytical, down to earth, picky, perfectionist. Just Virgo is so grounded and so in the little details, and Pisces couldn't give a fuck about the details.
So you look for someone who makes you give a fuck about the details, who keeps you on track, who keeps you grounded.
Maybe a little bit of perfectionist. You might end up falling in love with somebody who tries to fix you.
Yeah.
And you might be looking for somebody to try to fix you, and that could definitely cause
like
some
you
issues.
could feel like, oh god, I'm a mess. I had so and so in my life. Like they would fix me, and I would be this and this and that.
You're definitely somebody smart. You're looking for somebody intellectual. Very attracted to that. Maybe you want somebody to serve you. You know, maybe you like being kind of like waited on a little bit. So you're just gonna want a partner that kind of protects you and
like the physical world is just too much for your Pisces rising. You're like, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know how to do this and that, and
like chores. Pisces rising is just basically like, what are those? Like, you're that.
You just need your like Virgo rising partner, or your Virgo partner to just to curl you up in a blanket and just like rock you down. Like, I'll take care of you, I'll serve you, and that's exactly what they want to do.
And you're like, yes, serve me. No, you're not. Pisces doesn't equal ego at all.
No. But then that leads into this other thing of like Pisces being kind of childlike and with the fantasy and the imagination, and this is a huge correlation that we have found.
We have to say it together. Disneyland. Oh my god, the most unsuspecting of people that you would never think would be super into Disney.
Obsessed with like,
fucking
Disney.
Love it. Or maybe it's like anime or like any kind of other thing that's cosplay. Oh my god, cosplay. I could totally see that.
And you know what? That also kind of, that's the common factor of like Pisces and Virgo, because that stuff is also not Disney so much, but that stuff is kind of nerdy.
Yeah. So that's where like the two combine. Because people with a lot of Virgo influence like love comic books, but so does Pisces.
There you go. That's your soulmate.
Just because you like escaping into this other world in this fantasy land, and Disneyland is literally a fantasy land. It doesn't mean like every Pisces rising loves Disneyland, but there's something.
But like the degrees matter. Like,
that's true.
The lower degree ones is where we see like that's the Disney person.
I find to be super stereotypical, like a 1 degree Pisces rising is like Disneyland, cosplay, princesses, and then 29 is just like I'm stoned all the time.
Yeah.
So those are stereotypes, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's true, but don't be oversensitive if you're gonna watch our videos and be like, I know it! Okay. Anyways, that's our Pisces rising video.
Yes, thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed.
Hope that skit wasn't too like cringy. Who knows? We are actors after all.
We are. We have degrees, not astrological degrees.
Acting degrees.
Associates.
Associates of art. Watch the fuck out. We educated. No.
Ooh,
Okay.
we
anyways.
qualify.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you.